Let's look at some of the things you can do in the PowerQuery window. So here's my table. I've set it up as a table. I'm going to go to data, from table or range, and we've now got it in here. So just a couple of things. Everything you see here is very similar to Excel in the sense that you can move it around. So if, for example, you decide that this column here should rather be over here. Now before we do it, just notice our applied steps are source, change type. If I decide that should maybe be moved to over there, when I let go, it moves. More important, can you see here it says that the columns have been reordered. So it's following your steps. So if you want to reorder the columns, you can do that. If you don't like the name, you can either right click. You'll see you have the ability to remove columns if you want. But the one we'd look for is renaming it. So I can either click on rename and type the name, or same as Excel, I double click and I can then type in what I want to see. Again, notice everything I'm doing is being recorded here. So it's saying the column has been renamed. If there's something here that you don't need, so maybe the account number is irrelevant, I can right click and say remove. When I click remove, it seems to disappear, and notice it says removed column. Now the power of PowerQuery is that you can always go and see all the steps. So if I click on that, notice we're back to the original. Then I reordered the column, so notice it moved around. I renamed the column. So it just replays your steps so you can follow it along. So if I go back to that remove columns, this is what we currently look like. This, the last step, will be what ends up going into Excel. You'll also notice, same as Excel, you've got these little drop down boxes, and if I click on them, they act exactly like the filter. So notice you've got a few options. Do you want to sort ascending, descending? Do you want to choose some items here? So let's say, let's go over here to the names, and I can say I only want to see all the Gareths. And when I say OK, it does what you want it to do. Notice here that it's continually recording your steps. So if I want, let's go back to select all, and we're back to the total picture. So you can use the filter, and it's key to understand that if you filter on something, so for example, only want to see that one, if I do any more steps, from now on all that other data is assumed that you don't want it. So you've got to be careful what you choose here. But generally speaking, by just going through the steps, doing all the various things, you can then set up exactly what you want to see come back into Excel. If I want to, I can either go back there, or notice next here to the applied steps, I've got a little X. So either I can right click and say delete this step, or I can click here. And when I delete it, we now go back to this version. It's no longer part of our steps. Another Excel-like thing is sorting. So let's say we've got this, we need to sort it. Notice under Home, we've got the sort options, A to Z, Z to A. And again, as with most things, you can right-click and you'll find some of the options you want here. If we go here, if I click Sort, notice it sorts it. And we've now got sorted rows. If, however, you want to have multi-nested sort, so maybe we want the sort to be on this and then on revenue, I have to do the sort consecutively. So I've sorted the one column. If I go here and I now sort the other way, maybe Z to A, when I click it, because I've done them one after another, you'll just see here that there's a little 1 that appears here and a little 2 that appears here. So this is telling me that this sort is actually multi-nested. It will sort on this, then this, as opposed to if I did a sort, then did something else, then did another sort, those would be considered two completely separate sorts. So if you want to do nested sorting, you need to choose a column, sort, choose the next column, sort, etc., until you finally have all the sort options you want.